first grade. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a monster animal pinch pot, which is basically the same kind of method that you're going to use, okay? You're gonna have to start out with a pinch pot and then score, slip, and seal body parts on to either turn it into a monster or an animal, okay? All right, so here we go. First thing is, move this a little bit more. Okay. First thing is you're gonna need a little bit of water, which I have already provided for you when you're working, okay? You're gonna need either a fork or a wooden stylus, which I will also provide for you, okay? You could also use the tip of a pencil to do the scoring. And then of course you're gonna need your clay, and you're gonna start out with a little piece of clay to make your pinch pot, and then I'll give you guys more to share to create the body parts, okay? So in kindergarten, you should have learned how to make a pinch pot, okay? And I'm gonna review how to do that here, just in case you don't remember, because that could have been a really long time ago, okay? All right, so you have your clay. You're gonna start out by making a ball. Okay, and you can use your hands to make a ball, or you can use your hand and the table to make a ball, okay? It does not need to be a perfectly round ball. And remember, another name for a ball is a sphere, S-P-H-E-R-E, okay? So after I've got my sphere, or my ball of clay, okay, then I am going to take my hands and I make a butterfly. I have my butterfly fly over to the sphere of clay, okay? And then it lands, okay? And then this part is important. A lot of times students' hands collapse and they go down like this. I don't want your hands to collapse. I want your two thumb knuckles to be kissing, okay? And then, see how I'm making a heart here? Okay, you're gonna make a heart. Take your thumbs, push them down into the clay, okay, just like that. And then you should have two little holes, okay? And you don't wanna push so hard that you go all the way through the clay. All right, so then once you get this far, you're gonna pinch, twist, pinch, twist, pinch, twist. Okay, so I'm pinching and I'm twisting. Okay, you pinch and twist until you have a little bowl. And every once in a while, I have students over pinch, and then they end up with a really thin wall. This thickness is a good thickness. You want about as thick as like your pinky finger, or since you guys have such tiny fingers, maybe even as thin as your pointer finger, okay? So then once I get this far, you see all these cracks? We call that elephant skin. And what you can do to smooth them out is you can dip your finger in a little bit of water, okay? And you can go back in and smooth the clay out, okay? Just like that, okay? If you use too much water, it's gonna turn into a slippery, slimy mess, so be careful, okay? All right, so now once you've got your little pinch pot, okay, since I'm gonna make a monster pinch pot today, I'm gonna turn my pinch pot on the side, okay? Now, before I start adding my body parts, I wanna show you some other monster pinch pots, okay? I've got this one, and this one, and these two haven't been glazed yet, which you'll learn about that in another video, glazing, okay? But these have been fired in the special oven called the kiln, okay? And then these have not. So you can see, and we'll talk about this in class as well, but like you can add 2 eyes, you can add 1 eye. Sometimes I've had students put the eyes inside the mouth. It's a monster, so you're using your imagination to design it however you want, okay? I am now going to show you how to score and slip the body parts on so they don't fall apart. Scoring, slipping, and sealing are very important, or else your project is going to fall apart, and you really don't want that, guys, okay? So let's start out by, let's say I want to add a horn, okay? So I'm going to roll a small coil, okay? A coil is kind of like a little snake or worm of clay, okay? Now, when I make this horn, I don't want it to be super duper long and skinny, or else it's probably going to break off, okay? So I kind of want it to be a little stubby, okay, and thick. So that's probably good, okay? Notice it's thicker at the base and thinner at the top. The reason is the thicker base supports the rest of the clay. If I have it like this, that's not gonna be very supportive, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna do the really important work of scoring, slipping, and sealing, okay? So I'm gonna score the clay. Remember, scoring is messing up the surface of the clay, roughing it up, okay? And I describe this as like the Velcro, okay? So here are my score lines, all right? That's the Velcro. Makes the clay connect together like this. Now I'm gonna slip, okay? So I'm gonna take a little bit of water, put it on the surface. This is my glue. It makes the clay slippery, slimy, and sticky, okay? Now I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stick my scored and slipped horn onto the scored and slipped body, okay? Now when you get this far, okay, if your hands get a little too sticky, you can always grab a paper towel, wipe them off, okay? And then you're gonna do the sealing. Okay, and the sealing is taking a tool or your fingers and actually connecting the clay together. Okay, so just so you can really see this, look, that is the sealing. Okay, after I've done that, I like to take my finger and go back in and smooth it out so it doesn't look super sloppy. Okay. Okay, so now I've sealed it on there, and the next step after I've done this is to continue to add more body parts. But every body part that you add has to be scored, slipped, and sealed on, okay? Now, one thing I have my students do to make sure that all their body parts are on really well is I have them do something called the wiggle and pull test. So you wiggle and you gently tug on it, and if it doesn't come off easily, you've probably got it on there pretty securely, okay? If it pops off, you know you need to score, slip, and seal better. Now, of course, if I pull really hard, it is gonna come off, okay? But if you just do a gentle wiggle and pull test and it doesn't come off, you're in luck, okay? All right, so every other body part I add is gonna be scored, slipped, and sealed. Also, if you mess up with your pinch pot and you're noticing your pinch pot is starting to collapse or just somehow gets smushed, clay is awesome because all you have to do is mush it up, ball it up, and start over, okay? All right, I'll answer any other questions you have in class, and happy art making.